The Morning Dump from Hurrdat Sports with Andrew Rogers and Damon Benning.
It's nice to be back. Our final show before the Thanksgiving holiday. DB back with us after spending all day at Memorial Stadium yesterday calling Class B, Class C1, and Class C2 football.
Absolutely. It is. Listen, I whine a little bit, but don't let me. It's better to, because I do it every year and sometimes I double dip. But I'd much rather be playing and coaching in it and not having the work day.
Well, especially when you have a Monday night like you guys had.
Yeah, which is unbelievable. But I love high school. I love kids. And so getting a chance, it's kind of this weird way. I like the game prep. I like the little stories. When
it comes to broadcasting?
Yeah,
or when it comes to coaching?
I like knowing the communities. Coaching on a similar vein is like my saving grace. So you know what's funny? And I know we didn't mean to talk about this, but
I did bring it up.
It's a 50-course softball, right? So we're going to be going through negotiations and contract stuff with the radio network and what to do in the future. And I think, and rightfully so, it's a fantastic job. I love it. It's your alma mater, and it's kind of in my wheelhouse. I like doing broadcasts, obviously, whatever for media. But one thing is that I'm not really willing to part with?
High school.
Coaching. So, and I know people think I'm hearing more, some people think that's kind of odd, right? Well, what is he going to do with coaching? And people have to understand, I need the young. It's not necessarily the sport. It's and you've watched
the engagement.
Close. It's the interaction with kids. I'm a teaching major. I'm an LED endorsement guy. I'm certified K8, mild to moderate. I need kiddos. And so, I just don't know if I could do hardcore sports breakdown talks all the time without. I just had one of my former players yesterday, unfortunately, was arrested. And I just talked to him on Friday. He wanted to go to lunch. He sent me a message, and he's like, "Hey, man, I think about you. I miss you." And it's not a kid that you'd think, right, would do that. Or another guy that's getting ready he just entered the transfer portal. Good player at North Dakota State. And it's like, Coach B, would love to sit down and talk. See, I like that kind of stuff as much as I like the X's and O's. I like being able to say to guys like Christian Jones, "Hey, man, your growth, your maturity has been unbelievable the last third of the season. You're a young guy, just a sophomore. You save your best for last." I like those kinds of things.
Well, you care. You just really care. I mean, that's in human nature to care for something or someone.
I just wish I was better with adults.
Yeah, and for you, I hate hearing the fact that you say some people may be questioning your motives when you decide to stay at the high school level, or you care to do that more than being on the broadcast. Well, you don't need the flashy new job to really make you feel like.
And it's in addition to, right? Can you just help me with my travel
right.
schedule? I can't.
Right, but this is you as a person are, yes, on the radio Monday through Friday, doing podcasting and coaching high school football. That's you. Yeah, and you don't want to take away a piece of you.
I don't, man. And it's funny because I feel like as much as I enjoy broadcasting and doing this with you guys every day, and one of the keys though in making the transition was I had to have some reassurances just watching and spending some time with Chris and Bill and our bosses. I needed the family thing. Mm-hmm. I wanted some security in terms of, hey, are we all for one for all? If we're all in this deal together, you're going to get my best. But the minute I get the inkling, kind of you're not for me, because I can't function in the middle. You know, I'm
Yeah.
kind of an all in or all out kind of guy.
So are we brothers or cousins?
Yeah, so it seems like we've known each other for years, right?
A little bit.
But I feel like if I'm going to do this and we're going to be together every day, and
Unfortunately
you're
for
going to
you.
know more about me than 98% of the free world, like we probably better get along.
Yeah, well,
Right,
if we don't
so-
get along, it's not going to be a fun adventure.
So that's definitely a
brighten
thing.
yourself up a little bit.
Oh man, I feel like Gizmo. Bright light. But yeah, high school, man. Just the great stories. Just go, like game prep, man. I had one coach tell me, Mark Bramer from Pierce.
Love that guy.
He's amazing. And we're talking like last week, and he's asking me about Caleb and how he's feeling. And keep in mind, his son is arguably the best 2023 prospect in the state.
Yeah, what
right?
in the world is Ben Bramer on?
Listen, he's been in my top. I put him right behind Flores, and
His legs are
so
long.
I said, give or take Flores and Noonan as number 2,
Mm-hmm.
but they've been 1, 2 in this. He's been in the top 3
Yeah.
for me for. Most people know
Bramer's first step, and you said it on the broadcast
He's
so
unreal.
many times that nobody could sit back and not use this word in conversation after talking about this game. Getting vertical.
Yeah.
His ability to just turn, and then his first step is like
He's
2 yards down the field.
He's unbelievable.
Every stride is 2 yards, and then it becomes 3 yards.
And he's not a fake tough guy. So where I
No.
was kind of going with this is just 2 quick stories. So Coach Bramer we were talking about, and he's asking me about Caleb and how I was going to do prep, and he's appreciative for asking for the huddle film and stuff like that, right? Because we had our own game to get ready for. And I said, it's no problem. I love doing it. I just want to do a good product. And he said, hey, how's your boy doing? I said, he's fine. We're trending in the right direction. Big day, as you know, Thursday. We needed clearance from the doc, and he said, Benny. He calls his 6'6" stud son Benny, right? I'm just like, which was kind of cool for a tough guy, because Mark Bramer is a tough guy.
He's also a big softy, though.
And you heard that in the post game, right? Like,
I knew that prior to the post game.
Oh God, I love him. So, he's like, Benny broke his collarbone when he was a freshman. He's 14 years old. He was starting for us, and he says, in our household, you get right back on the saddle. He said, so he broke his collarbone week 1, and he played in the quarters.
Nice.
Put a little pad underneath. It was probably more for security than anything, but, man, good on you. And I'm just thinking to myself, in the moment, he doesn't know me that well just over the last couple of years, and I'm like, you know what, Coach? I appreciate that. I'm going to share that story with Caleb just to get help get over that emotional hurdle. And his counterpart, Kyle Peterson, who I've known forever, is almost a football savant, if you will. Very good with O-line. He almost went to law school early before he got into coaching. Very philosophical.
Well-spoken.
Was saying things like, hey, I'm going to send a couple of different films. Some of our offense with Carlos Collazo, some of our offense without while he was hurt, just to kind of give you an idea of
Well,
of
and
who
that's
we are.
huge because you coach
Like
one team.
Who does that?
Right. You coach one team, but like you kind of pay attention to the other classes and the other schools. Just knowing what's
absolutely.
going
We
on.
do
But
NEB preps every week, right?
But you read stats
Yeah.
more than you actually watch these guys
and
play.
we do try to we do try to watch a ton, which is I think I love, not to plug NEB preps, but I do think that's part of what makes us unique, right? We, people will put film in our huddle pool and we can watch games and stuff, so that's cool. But I say all that to say I watched Coach Linhart at Bennington, who I have a ton of respect for, just because I knew guys that wanted that job and going through the hiring process when he got hired, and he's just kind of a young grinder, and the kids love him, and I know so many, my house backed up to that community forever, so I know a lot of those folks, and I love those stories. Hitchcock County beating Howes Dodge. It was like not quite David and Goliath, but I think Hitchcock County was the only team that thought that they were going to win that football game. The stories at Omaha Gross with the senior class, and me watching some of those junior Cougars kids when they were in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Like I like that kind of stuff, man. And it's more than just talking, what Kaluma did or who Nemhart dunked on in the lane. And I love all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But the reasons and the things that I gravitate towards are Coach Hoiberg saying how he watched so many soap operas because he didn't have a job and he was in the kitchen with his wife, or Coach Mack.
Well,
and,
they're the real
and
stories.
That's the kind of things that I like, because sports.
And I like hearing those. And people out there
sports
love
in the
hearing
real
that.
world, like, they intersect. And functioning in life at a high level has a lot to do with what you can learn through sports. And I think that's the thing that I'm about, which is why I love high school, because it's in its purest form.
Yeah, right. Way to come full circle there. And again, it's just because you care. Everybody cares about something in this world.
Yeah.
If I go to the Humane Society once a week to interact with the animals there, like, that's something that I do. And if it hindered me from doing that, and I love doing that, to do something different, then I'm not going to do it.
That's a song.
Hinder?
Or is it the
Timber?
group? No. And Shane, is Hinder the group or the song?
There is a group called Hinder. Now, there probably is a song. That's a pretty common word, so there probably is a song called Hinder.
Kind of like What Happens When I Work With You? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Shane. I've missed you guys.
Well, and speaking of,
Good morning, Damon.
What's up, buddy?
it's so funny that Shane says that. Anytime
That's
he
his
says "Good
diffuser,
morning,
yeah.
Damon,"
You know it.
That not only is his diffuser, it's him cussing you out.
It is. It
Damn
absolutely,
right, yes.
it absolutely
I am.
is. It's kind of his. Everybody has that safe word. When he drops the good morning, that really means, like, you're an idiot, and what you said just really got under my skin.
Right.
But because I'm the only functioning adult in this room, even though I'm only 1'8",
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go ahead and take.
It's funny because
I'm gonna take the low high road.
you weren't here yesterday,
That's totally on me.
but Shaner he messed up the 6-pack.
Oh,
And
he didn't crack it open?
He skipped a question.
Yeah.
And I just go, "Good morning, Shane."
He's a little stud.
He is. Now, going back to the emphasis on caring and being there for a
High
team,
school.
it's a lot like Mickey Joseph right now with this Huskers bunch.
Man.
And he's really instilling as much confidence as he can in this group as they try to rally together in this final game. He made it their last mission, right? That's what he said in the press conference. It's our last mission, taking down Iowa. It'd be the first time in 8 years if Nebraska could pull off that feat. And since that 8-year win in 2014, they've been outscored by Iowa 236 to 137.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Iowa finds way to win, and in a lot of cases win by a good scoring margin.
Early. It's been tighter late. But
Correct.
yeah, there was a stretch
And no
there.
Sam Laporta for this game, too, which is big.
Yeah, except they got this Lachey guy.
He's
Pretty
okay.
good.
He's okay.
How would you like to be Iowa and just take a guy like Abdul Hodge, who used to coach on the other side of the ball, and say, hey, you know what? You're really good, super relational. Why don't you take tight ends? Right?
Game over.
At tight end you. We'll free Coach Ferentz up to go coach quarterbacks, and let's not skip a beat, okay? We good with that? How's that sound? And you're like,
Is that a step back or a step up?
yeah, and they just keep doing what they do.
Well, it's the last game for a lot of Husker athletes, too. Playing with a lot of pride, and, going out with a bang is important to them. They have the opportunity to play spoiler on Iowa's season as they kind of control their own destiny and, could come out of the Big Ten West with a victory here. Own all the tiebreakers against, like, Purdue and other teams that sit with similar records with them. But the X factor, I think, for Nebraska in this game, and it's kind of like a mirroring effect in my mind, is defense. And the ability to be great over the last 4 games. I mean, in those 4 games that Nebraska has played, at least 2 of them, defense has kept them in it to win that football game.
Yeah, and I think if they're going to continue to trend in that direction, yeah, you have to. It's kind of opponent specific, right? They haven't faced what I would call great offenses, but you can only play the hand that you're dealt. And I think Nebraska, if they're going to have any chance at this one on Friday, it's you cannot let an offense that has struggled all year all of a sudden get life. If they're a struggling offense, then you have to let them continue.
They have one game where they put 30 points up?
You have to continue to let them be a struggling offense, and I think that's the key.
You look at Mickey Joseph, too, and you have to think, man, you feel for this guy going into this game. I mean, he took over this team earlier on this season, had his opportunity as the interim head coach, still to be decided, to be announced if he will be the next head coach. We'll find out after this weekend, most likely. But we also saw some names crossed off the list just yesterday. Mm-hmm. You won't see a guy from Washington at the helm here in Lincoln. You won't see the guy from Lawrence, Kansas at the helm from Lincoln. Or at Lincoln, I should say. But you take all of those things into account. How difficult do you think it is for Mickey right now? Or is it difficult at all as a coach yourself to really put yourself through this process?
Yeah, I don't think it's difficult at all. I really don't, and I'm not just saying that because of the relationship. I'm just saying that because I'd rather be, you've heard me say this, I'd rather be right than well-liked. And there's just things that I know for a fact. Like yesterday morning, we leave Westside at 12:35, 12:40, get home late, obviously, in the ones. 5:40, my phone rings. DB. Tristan Alvano's not picking up the phone. Coach Joseph, man, hey, how are you? I said, hey, we've got a pep rally in a couple of hours. He's a kid. He's probably still sleeping.
He's still sleeping.
Did you tell him I would be calling? Yeah, Coach, I told him, but, he's a kid. He said, I called him a couple of times. Tell him I'm blank, blank, blank number. That's the phone that I'm using. Okay, Coach. You play Iowa this week. How's that going? Oh, man, our preparation is coming. We've got meetings here in an hour. We're going to – so I hang up the phone and –
You're rubbing your eyes a little bit.
Right,
you just woke up.
Listen, we're talking like 3 hours and 40 minutes of sleep, right? And I know I've got to go to work yesterday, right? Like I've got to be in Lincoln by 8:30, and I'm thinking –
like a long 10, 12-hour day for you.
So – I text Tristan and I hang up the phone and I'm walking around in the kitchen. I'm getting my vitamins and I go, boy, lions, they only sleep when they're full. He's not full and he's not sleeping. He's recruiting as though his future is in Lincoln. He's preparing as though he's got an opponent that has been a thorn in the side of Nebraska the last 6 years. It's just unbelievable the amount of effort and energy that he puts into his job because he knows it's multifaceted. And Drew Down, sure as I'm sitting here, you know what he loves? Learning every day because there's so much he didn't know about being in this position that he gets a chance to get up and go attack during the day. Like, there is no complacency. Because he's learning on the fly, and he loves doing it. Do we go to work? Do you go to work today, and you're like, hey, man, I want to attack what I can learn today. This is a new day, new set of – it's kind of rare, right? But that's how he looks at it.
Yeah, that's the hunger when it comes to coaching, too.
Yeah. It's kind of one of the reasons why I always tell Shane, and I'm not sure how you'll be, but some people don't. You work with people that like taking calls, they don't like taking calls, whatever, right? I always like interacting and taking calls because that's my one time that I think, not my one, but a time that I think we may learn something that I didn't already know. Like maybe what we're saying, our vantage point is it's a little skewed or I'm not being objective enough or whatever. Maybe somebody's going to call and say something that I'm going to learn. See, I like doing
or even
that.
Reflect on.
I even read articles of people that I haven't always liked for certain articles, but I'm not a put them on the shelf guy just because they maybe have offended me or written something that I didn't agree with because I don't want to pass up I may get me a little chicken nugget, right? Like
I think you like taking calls too because one of your favorite Twitter follows loves to take phone calls and stumble through his thoughts following a phone call.
Coward?
No.
Francesa?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A coward, though, also true.
Oh, and by the way, that Twitter follow kills both of those guys. Do you follow Funhouse? Do you follow that? Oh,
sure do.
How funny is that?
So funny.
You laugh daily. Life's a joy, man.
Well, it is, especially when you don't have to do the work to find that
I
joy.
wonder what
It
Coward
just
did
pops
to him,
right
because
up.
it totally shifted his kind of his narrative. Has totally shifted from Francesa now that he's retired to Colin Coward. It is a fantastic Twitter. I laugh daily.
I mean, Skip Bayless, too, is somebody I laugh a lot at.
So was that argument legit the other day, or?
No, all of his arguments are staged.
Yeah, it's always hard to tell with Shannon. You know?
Loud dude. I mean, he's just a
Yeah.
loud guy.
Well,
and-
that's our defense mechanism as a people, man. That's what we do. We get loud.
Yeah, well, everybody gets loud. I get loud.
Are you loud? Are you loud?
No.
Yeah, see, you're not going to like that. I'm not a loud guy.
No, I am a loud guy.
Yeah.
But I don't get loud when I'm arguing with somebody.
Yeah.
Unless I'm super passionate and I know I'm right.
Uh-oh.
Like if I'm like
Shane,
100%
write that down.
on the nose.
Write that down. When Drew Down thinks he's right, he's going in for the kill. You got me? Are you going to?
Thank you.
We'll draw.
What does that mean?
You said yes. I said thank you for letting me know.
So you answered your own question. So he said thank you to you answering your own question.
That's what we're dealing with, man. It's what we're dealing with. So, I mean, in playing this football team, there's some things that I obviously admire about Iowa because I'm a big in crunch time. Who are you? And when their back was against the wall, they went to who they were, right? And ultimately, that's what I want from the teams that I cheer for. You know, I like the Steelers because I could always usually count on when it was nut cutting time, they were going to play a certain way, right? And that's what I think you want your teams to do. And while Nebraska's figuring out kind of who they want to be going forward, they don't have a lot to fall back on. That's why they can't win close games, because it's frenetic and there's no set schedule and there's no baseline for what their modus operandi, what their MO is. And they struggle. That's in essence why it's so day to day. So, I mean, there's lots of things that I think you can learn from other people and other football programs, and that's what I'm hoping Nebraska can glean over this coaching search and this coaching process.
This Nebraska team isn't competing for anything more right now than building for the future.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
Yes, the topic at hand is taking down Iowa, but at the same time, how you do that is, you have to keep building toward being better than you are right now. And getting extra reps to some of those young potential stars is important, too. I love the way Hausman's been playing. Hartzog's been playing awesome in the secondary, too. And that also kind of falls back on what we talked about last week with Casey Thompson. Like, Casey doesn't know. If he does come back, he doesn't know if he's going to be the starter at Nebraska next year. Yeah. You just don't know at this point. So for anyone out there that's saying, like, why is this player playing here? And, why are we going with a freshman here instead of a junior or a senior? Well, you're looking to get extra reps to some of those younger guys or older guys that may play a crucial role at the point next season. But it's important to help start the next wave, the next change in this program.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing the mix and match game that Mickey's going to have in this Iowa game. Like, yes and no. Like, you're going to have some type of consistency at the same time, but knowing all 11 guys on both sides of the football and just seeing who he goes with off the rip.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that, he said something about, this is probably about 6 or 7 weeks ago, and I was asking him about a couple of players and kind of transitioning and how he wanted to see some younger guys, and I would say, well, what about such and such and such and such? And he'd say, I said, miss those guys? Or like what? He says, DB, I can't miss what I've never had. And I just always thought to myself, that's got to be on a T-shirt, right? Because that's how he thinks.
Man, I wish my brain worked like that sometimes.
He's so competitive.
He probably got his wife the very first time just by being like that witty, that quick turnaround, that smartness that comes with him. Like,
and she doesn't strike you as the type of person that's going for any soft bats, right? Like,
what I'm saying is, like, his ability just to talk to you, he brings you in.
Yeah.
Like, he brings you all the way in too. It's not like you're there. No, you're in there.
Yeah,
when you're talking to Mickey
that
Joseph.
authenticity, man, that I think he has made really work for him, and it's one of the things that I think his players gravitate towards. They really,
you know
really
what?
do.
Great point. Great point, because he said even in his press conference yesterday how much he saw Quentin Newsom's leadership grow and his voice get bigger and bigger once he took over.
I have a weird affinity for Q, right? Like, he gets picked on a ton, and he gets a lot of balls, and he doesn't have a ton of interceptions. But I think
picked on as in like the offenses that he's playing pick on him.
Yeah, because he's always covering their best receiver, and people go at him.
I just didn't know if you meant like the general public picking on him.
And statistically, it's like, man, Herzog has 3 times the interceptions, but Newsom's he's a Sunday guy. He will be in camp, guaranteed if he stays healthy.
Sure,
he will be. He will be on a Sunday roster.
100% will.
And I love it because of his growth. He's actually, he's gotten, and it's not, and listen, I'm a little corny because I like a feel-good story, but his maturation in terms of being able to handle stressors, those are things that the fan base doesn't see, but are real life for 18 to 23-year-old fellas trying to play. Like him coping with stress mechanisms and how he's grown and flourished, those are the things that I cheer for.
Talk about an underestimated attribute, though, is leadership and voice when it comes to...
Especially under duress.
When it comes to football, any sport, really. And he never really had to do that, though, because when Taylor Britt was there, that was kind of his thing.
Yep.
He kind of took control.
And he had 2 other alphas in Dismuke and Deontay Williams.
100%. So Newsome just never really... Maybe found his lane yet until this year.
Listen, home run. That's the thing that I like about him. He's never had to be the dude before, but he has to be the guy for them now, especially now that Big Swag, Marquise Buford is on the shelf, because Buford was the guy that had a lot of the attitude. I mean, he was a real dude back there, and I just like the fact that Q has been able to grow and flourish, and I'm a sucker for a feel good story.
Speaking of players that have flourished,
I just wanted to lend itself to wins.
Yeah.
I can only feel good for so long without winning.
That's and most people can too.
You know what I mean?
You can only feel good to a degree.
HBO, man, help a brother out. Is Japan really going to beat Germany? I believe they are. 2-1 with 4 minutes of stoppage time left. Germany has blew a one goal.
How about the win for Saudi Arabia yesterday?
Dude, how'd you like to be Argentina? Germany had a 1-goal lead, and it's 2 unanswered from Japan, and it's like, what is going on with the World Cup?
Hey, French fans also were holding their breath early on against Australia.
Hey, did you see? They were living their best life. Did you see Messi yesterday or this morning? No excuses. No excuses. World Cup's fantastic, even though they're playing it in the wrong country, but it's neither here nor there.
It could come to the U.S., though, next round.
Yeah. You think?
I don't know.
Nah, me neither. Let's not kid ourselves. Have you seen that bidding process?
Hey, real fast before I get into something funnier, you talk about players that are flourishing right now. That's Ryan Nembhard. Career high, 25 points as Creighton took down Arkansas yesterday. We'll touch on this game quickly, and then we'll get into a fun little segment before we wrap this whole thing up. But the Razorbacks, what a good team they are. Very physical in the second half.
A little too frenetic for me, but...
Yeah, they were also playing without Nick Smith, and Nick Smith could be the number 1 pick in the draft next year.
And a stabilizer.
100%. But you look at how well Creighton battled through adversity in this game, and this was the game I was kind of waiting for. Yeah. You knew that. And it just goes to show that this team will be a force to be reckoned with all season long. It's almost unfair how good this team is. Their decision-making, their vision, the way they move the basketball. Now, when Arkansas had put on pressure, shot selection wasn't the same for the Blue Jays. I mean, their closeouts were much better. They took away the 3, but kudos to Creighton on making that adjustment and then getting to the rack and then finding ways to also get to the free throw line because of that. They shot 28 free throws in the second half. Now, officiating was not consistent at all in this game. It was bad.
It's the only reason why I was a couple of minutes late having to go back and rewatch that. again this morning. How about the last 7 minutes?
Hey, Arkansas, and I know we favor Creighton where we're at, but Arkansas got hosed in this game.
I thought it was poor both ways, and I'm not even an officiating guy.
But
you know what I mean?
why it became fair? It's because once the officials knew that Creighton was getting a lot of calls, now they have to try to even the calls out. And as a former basketball official, I know the pain that you have to think about in those moments because you're trying to please two sides and you're just making enemies. You're not going to make any friends doing that.
How tough a matchup is Anthony Black?
He is a stud. I didn't realize he only ended with 14. He should have ended with 30 with how much he was involved in every play.
Well, no. You talking about total points?
Was it 14 in the second half?
Yeah, he finished with 26.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, he was a monster. And not to be outdone by counsel.
So I was right. I just saw the wrong number.
Yeah. But, I mean, the defensive plays by Calk late,
that is a big notice.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm telling you, man.
He's a big man.
So the evolution of his toughness, I'll never forget this. I got to sneak this in. So a couple years ago, I was watching. Unabashedly, you probably should know, I'm a huge Coach Mack guy. Right? Like, he's the guy that I could talk to. Like I've asked, I love Coach Mack, right? So I'm just going to say that and move on. So,
do you like him?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm watching this interaction that he's having with Kalkbrenner a couple years ago. Or this was last year during the season. And Kalkbrenner's not living his best life at the moment. And I'm just watching Mac kind of talk to him. He's not really getting into him, but, I mean, for as eye-to-eye as you could be on a 6'11 guy, and Mac's a big guy too, and I'm watching this interaction, and I'm pitting it against Mac's coaching style the remainder or the early part of the season. I'm like, that's why he's really good at what he does. Because at that particular juncture is getting away from Kalk, and he needed to settle down, and Mac had to have a different approach. Like, he talked to him different. And I'm watching, and I'm like, knowing what buttons to push when for what guy, that was a put his arm around him, hey, it's going to be okay, Simadonna kind of thing. I'm like, the ability to know your audience, I'm a big KYA guy. I'm like, Kalk's growth and maturity, his maturation has been amazing.
And on top of it,
and now he's got the mentality. I mean, my dude is like he's kind of becoming a killer. And I don't think that's who he was when he got here.
You talk about a guy that you said Newsom's going to be a Sunday player.
Yeah.
Kalkbrenner's going to be somebody that plays weekly at the top level.
Yeah, and he's shooting it better too. You can't leave Creighton and not become a better shooter.
No.
Well, that's a prerequisite, right?
And that team is so good. I think Kalkbrenner's kind of coming out of his shell a little bit more too this year because not to say that he's jawing at his opponents, but after he made a block in that game, I saw him verbally be like, no, that ain't happening here. Like he's like basically waving his finger like, not today.
If you could gauge Shireman's basketball IQ, would it be off the charts?
I don't even know if we could reach it.
Gosh, he's silly.
There was only one turnover I saw him make where he anticipated Kalkbrenner to be down low, and it was that behind the back, to try to be a fancy pass, and Kalkbrenner ended up moving to try to maybe do an off-ball screen. And he kind of was like, dude, where are you going? I was going to give you the ball.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, can we have some fun before we get out of here?
Yeah, sure.
Let's have some fun. Shaner, cue up some music for us. We're going to have a Thanksgiving draft.
Uh-oh.
So, Thanksgiving draft, what does that entail? We are going to draft a main dish, 2 sides, a dessert, and a drink. No repeaters. All 3 of us are going to play. And by doing so, we'll do a snake draft. I don't care who goes first. We can even type in a randomized order right now. I probably should have had this loaded up. But I can do it real fast. We have DB, we have Shane, and we have me. Randomizing the order, and first pick goes to Shane. DB has the second pick. I have the third, but then it's Snakes. I have the first in the second round. So we are going to draft. I'm going to take our results, put them on Hurrdat Sports. We'll share them. DB will share it at Damon Benning. I'll share it at Andrew Rogers TV. You vote on whose party you'll attend based on the food that they're having. You got it?
I got you.
Shaner, you have the first overall pick. What are you taking?
What do we choose? Is there categories? Do we have to go by category?
No, you just go in any order you want.
It's a protein, 2 sides, and a dessert.
And a drink. So, like, if you say...
Yeah,
if you say, like, I don't know, alcohol, like, that's a drink.
Yeah, I got you.
But nobody else can say alcohol then.
I got you.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Michael Severe pick, the number 1 overall pick, because I know he loves him some turkey. That's what I'm going with.
I think that's a good number 1 overall pick for Shaner.
Turkey's coming off the board.
DP. You can pick anything. You don't have to go with protein first if you don't want to.
I got it because nobody's going to pick my protein.
That's what you think.
I'm going to lock it up with mashed potatoes.
Ah, you dog. You dog.
Going with mashed potatoes. Nice, fluffy, buttery, whipped, no chunkers.
Dude.
Mashed potatoes.
That's a great pick.
Thank you.
Like these 2 picks that
I'm going to come back, and you get to go back to back.
I get to go back to back here, which is great.
Back to back.
Nice work.
Let's go. Not Degrassi High, the other Drake.
And this is great, too, because no matter what, I'm going to get my side dish. But do I take it so early to where I get,
Hey, listen, you're
exposed?
the only one that's, parsing through your talks, my guy.
I have
just pick. Let's go.
All right, my pick for meat, it's probably not DB's pick, but I'm going with ham.
That's fine.
Ham. And
ham
I like
is
a little
off the
brown
board.
sugar glazed ham.
Oh, I don't like my meat sweet, baby. No way. You're on your own with that one.
No. I think there's some people out there that would agree. No
And
big
your
deal.
side is?
Mac and cheese.
I almost took it.
I'm a child.
Hey.
Homemade mac and cheese, though, on Thanksgiving,
Like my
the
kids,
best.
They think that's fire. So we're back to me because we
Yep,
serpents.
back to you.
For my protein.
You honestly, think about this, though. You could save your protein because we can't choose a protein again. Maybe you go side dessert here or drink.
I'm going to, so for my, we got to let my man Jacob in. For my side, let's go dessert.
You're going to go dessert, okay?
And I will take sweet potato pie.
Oh, that's very good.
Is that considered a dessert? Sweet potato pie?
Yeah.
Or is it a side?
Wait, so what is my choices? Pumpkin or?
Pecan?
No, I'm going to take pumpkin pie.
So wait, that's your second pick?
Yeah, I'm going to take pumpkin pie.
So you went away from using your protein.
I'm not going to use my protein.
Yeah.
You guys can't take a protein.
That's what I was saying. Like,
Yeah.
you got to be strategic here, dude.
Shane, you got back-to-backers. That's why I love going in the middle. I'm good either way.
Shaner, what you got?
Back to back.
You need a side here or
Let's
you're
go.
not going to have anybody at your house.
So my mom makes a great stuffing. I'm going to have to go with that.
Okay.
Surprised you didn't say that terrible green bean casserole.
I guarantee Shane's list is going to be the most vanilla
Well, he's got
Thanksgiving
turkey and
list.
stuffing. Shane, you're up again, my guy. What do you got?
Okay, so my sister-in-law makes a great pasta salad, confetti pasta salad.
Ain't nobody going to your house, Shane.
I'm
no
going
one
with that.
is going to your house.
I'm taking that.
Nobody's going to your house.
See, you're going to.
That's
hey,
good.
Man, why
That's
is
more
Shane
food
having
for me.
holidays by himself?
That's more food for me.
Have you seen his menu?
Oh, my goodness. All right, TV, what you got?
So I get 2 sides, correct?
You get 2, yeah. You get one more.
So I think I'm going to take my drink. I'm taking that off the table. I'm going with any alcoholic beverages.
You son of a gun, man.
Oh, they're coming to my house.
Yeah, they are. Well, and hey, no biasness here, though. Don't just go to DB's because you can go to DB's and just spend time with DB.
No,
That's
man,
not what we're doing
listen,
here.
I'm not that entertaining. To be
Alcohol,
honest.
man. That was my pick. Now I got to think about what I'm
Hey,
going to
you
drink.
get to go, again. You're Drake again, not
All right.
Degrassi High. You get to go back to back.
Yeah, and I'll take a drink so that because I got to take a drink before Shaner does. Although he took 2 sides, so I'm going to take a drink and a dessert here.
Go
Look at
ahead.
that. Come on. So the drink will go with I guess. Soda? We'll go with soda.
Soda is generic. I like it. It's safe. Put it on the board.
And my last side, I feel like we need some type of vegetable here.
Ugh, why?
Give a little bit of a variety.
Variety.
I'm not a green bean casserole guy, but I know a lot of people out there like green bean casserole. And if I'm going to have people at my house, I feel like I should have more than just an Andrew plate. So I'll take green bean casserole here.
All right. So I have another side, right?
You have a side, and you have your last pick, which is your protein.
I'm saving that.
Yeah, I know.
So since there is a distinction, Shane took stuffing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take dressing. Dressing goes outside
I agree.
the turkey.
I agree.
I'll take dressing as my second side. Shane-o, back to back.
I get 2. Okay, so what I got left? The drink and the dessert?
Yeah.
That's correct.
And pumpkin's gone, correct?
Yeah. Who's pumpkin? Do you know pumpkin?
Pumpkin gone? Pumpkin?
Yeah, pumpkin is gone.
Pumpkin?
Shane. You can go sweet potato.
Nah, I ain't going with that.
I ain't going with that.
I'm going to go cheesecake.
Ooh, that may get some people
Wild
back
card.
in the fray.
Wild card. Last pick.
And for the drink, since soda's gone, you just said alcohol.
Yeah.
But I could say, couldn't I say like wine or
No,
beer?
No, that's
Wine.
that's
No.
alcohol.
But what if it's non-alcoholic?
You're taking non-alcoholic.
Hey, take non-alcoholic beer. That would be so Shane.
That would be so Shane.
Do they still
But what
make
the hell
sharps?
else is there? If you're taking
Water.
if you're
Listen, and
Juice,
Jacob Padilla's
coffee.
not coming to your house if you're serving alcohol. He
if-
doesn't drink. You
if
better have
you're-
something for everybody.
if you're taking alcohol, I just considered that you're taking beer. So why can't I
That's your
just take
homework
wine?
thinking. Let's not make it complicated.
I said at the beginning here, Shane, we are going generic.
Yeah.
Generic.
And if I said somebody
You
takes
got
alcohol,
you got water,
can't take
you got
alcohol.
milk, you got tea.
What in the? I guess being first pick totally is not great.
What
is
do you
it?
mean? I actually got screwed here because
That's
I
okay.
don't get the back-to-back to finish.
But you have a nice complimentary menu, though.
I do, well, because I'm
Yeah,
smart.
you're balanced. I mean, we're Fox, right?
Fox, aren't we fair and balanced?
Yeah. I
So
heard
what
that.
else is there?
Bro, you have water, you have juice, you have coffee. Like, I'm not going to do the work for
Who
you.
the hell drinks coffee during?
Shane, figure it out. Jiminy Christmas.
You have cider, eggnog, if you want to start early for Christmas. Come on.
I'll go with cider.
Good Lord, I'm basically drafting. I'm like telling him, this is like when you do a fantasy draft when you're playing Madden and you're getting down into the boonies of players and you're like, dude, this guy still has talent.
Yeah, I feel like
You figure cider has talent? Cider has no talent.
I absolutely stole the show, and this is checkers and chess playing with you guys. But for my protein, give me the bone-in rib roast.
See, I almost took like prime rib.
That's what it is, basically.
But like I don't have prime rib ever.
Give me the bone-in rib roast. Everybody will be at my house. Everybody will be with ODB.
You have a very non-Thanksgiving-y menu though.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not a traditionalist.
Hey, that's cool. And for my dessert, I mean, this is just a slam dunk. This pick isn't even Mr. Irrelevant. Ice cream. Bang!
That is your baby.
That is me. All right, there you have it. So we have Shane, turkey stuffing, pasta salad, cheesecake, and cider. You probably won't find parking at Shane's, or there may be a lot of spots, so maybe you do have a lot of chances to park. Then you have DB.
No big deal.
With mashed potatoes, pumpkin pie, alcohol, dressing, and bone-in rib roast. I may find myself at DB's. And at my party. Hopefully mine's happening earlier on in the day so I can end up at DB's. Ham, mac and cheese, soda, green bean casserole, ice cream. This is like the UMBC against Virginia right here. This menu.
Meet Virginia. Who, by the way, how good are they?
Good team.
Yeah, they have my
Very good
attention
team.
in the Atlantic Coast Conference as a Carolinian.
Hey, we also have, before we get out of here.
How bad is Louisville?
Not good. They got exposed by
Holy-
Texas Tech.
Ooh, 38 points, though?
Yeah, that was like a poor high school basketball team.
Wow. Remember when that used to be a great job?
High school basketball coach? Or?
No, Louisville.
Oh, yeah. Well, until the program went into shambles.
Claude, have mercy.
Hey, guys, big announcement coming. Drum roll, please. Drum roll. Can we bang the drums? Coffee and cream coming your way on Monday.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is here. The time is now. The drum roll delayed there.
Yeah, morning show, me and you.
Good morning, Shane.
7 a.m.er.
7 to 9, 1480 ESPN Lincoln. And I'm telling you, people, stay tuned for Omaha.
Yeah, we got something coming.
Yeah, stay tuned. It's something's brewing. Maybe not the alcohol at DB's party, but something's brewing.
Yeah, maybe Shane Sharps. Do they still make Sharps?
Can I have a late?
I know they have O'Doul's. Do they have? Is Sharps still a thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, Google. Can you buy Sharps?
Can I have a late pick? Like,
No.
can I redo my cider
No.
pick?
What?
No,
This is you're
Have you-
done. The
No,
drive's
no, no, no.
over.
What
You've already been the Eric Hipple of Thanksgiving.
What
You
if-
had lots of picks.
What if I had this guy there?
Do you smell what the Rock is cooking?
I mean, how awesome would that be?
No, you're good, Eric Hipple. We're good.
Hey, I'm going to tell you what right now. If Ryan Poles, with the 3rd overall pick in the draft next year, missed, and then he goes back in the 3rd round and goes, wait, can I redo my first round pick? They're not going to let him do it, Shane. The draft has already passed on from that point.
He keeps on passing me by.
Well, if you come by my house, this is what you're gonna hear.
Man, I feel great, man. I know I'm going to Disneyland.
'Cause that's where I'm gonna be at.
Sharps, is it beer?
So you can have all my food.
Non-alcoholic Sharps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Do they still make it?
I'm sure you can find it. Well, it's on drizzly.com, whatever that is.
Drizzly. Coming to a holiday near you.
Oh, man. But exciting stuff, like we said, regarding coffee and cream. DB said at 7 a.m. sharp in the morning. That's 1480 ESPN Lincoln. And we're back.
Yeah.
DB's back for sure.
Can I make a prediction?
We're back.
Can I make a prediction real quick?
What's that, Liquid?
This is about how many people I'm gonna have at my place.
119, 120.
Minus 121.
What's wrong with
Because
him?
your girlfriend's not even showing up. She's going to DB's.
Well, you better feed her right,
You already know.
because I'll hear about it.
Wow.
Oh, man.
It's a lot going
I
on.
basically threw in the towel already on my own. Thank you for joining us. I know it was a long, extended episode today, but we had to basically get 3 days worth of content into one day for you. So hopefully we made your drive, your at-home life, a fun one. As DB's over here playing cards.
That's what I do. Some people play solitaire. Some people play cards, man.
It's all right. It's all right. He's like, Andrew can take the clothes. No big deal.
I multitask, baby.
And the big topic of conversation to pay attention to revolves around the coaching search. I know it's kind of beating the dead horse at this point, but that's what we will be grasping onto at the conclusion of Friday's football game. If you need help throughout that process, if you need some guidance of what direction Nebraska may or may not go, check out hailvarsity.com. Get your subscription today. Use that promo code AR for monthly. That yearly code is at DB. And I'm telling you, we have some of the best writers, the best team of writers out there locally, could even compete nationally when it comes to providing you with the content you're looking for. Aside from that, we're at Hail Varsity Club. We'll be here probably for a good portion of today, if not even tomorrow. If you may not have Thanksgiving festivities yet, come watch some Thursday football at Hail Varsity Club, one of the best venues for that. Get drink specials, great food. It'll be fantastic. Follow DB on Twitter at Damon Benning. Myself at Andrew Rogers TV. When we move to radio on Monday, also follow at Hail Varsity Radio, but it's HV Varsity Radio is how that is spelled on Twitter.
I like it.
Follow that account. Make sure you get your content there. Also at Hurrdat Sports. We're all over the place. Catch us wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, or if there's another place out there that I don't know about, keep listening on that platform. Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you next week.